How's it going, fellow cynics? Hope you're doing well. Microsoft just had their big Xbox event on Thursday, and to really try to gain some momentum against Sony and the PS5, they really needed to do two things. They needed to show off first-party games and plenty of gameplay. Well, they did one of those things.
Okay.
So yeah, sadly there wasn't much shown for gameplay at this Xbox event. But you know what? Xbox did show off a lot of first-party exclusive content as well as some interesting looking timed exclusive games as well. There were a lot of games shown at this event, but I'm going to primarily be covering what I think are some of the highlights and some of the games that I particularly found the most interesting. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Starting off the event to not too much surprise was Halo Infinite. This took a decent chunk of the event, showing off a pretty good-sized gameplay demo. In the demo we got a little intro cutscene, and then it jumped right into the game, showing off the open world map, some new guns, and even a new grapple mechanic. When I saw the gameplay demo, it kind of gave me this vibe that this might be some sort of open world Doom Eternal-like game with a Halo skin, and honestly I'm totally okay with it if that's what it ends up being. One thing a lot of people are concerned about from this demo is that the game has some noticeable graphical downgrades almost. The game didn't necessarily look terrible in my opinion, but it's not exactly what some might come to expect from a next-gen game. That being said, the game isn't exactly finished yet, and it's also meant to run on the Xbox One hardware, so maybe by the time this is released, it'll look a lot better on the Series X. Personally, I'm more concerned about the story and gameplay, and I just hope that they can give us something a lot better than Halo 5. Because let's be honest, we all know how we thought of Halo 5.
Very nice place here. This is not too good.
I like the overall art direction of what I saw from this demo. I love how clean the Chief's armor looked. I like the design of the Covenant as well as the Brutes. I just need a good story and solid mechanics for this game to be something to get excited about. Next up, we saw another sort of cinematic trailer for Rare's new IP, Everwild. We still don't know how the game will play, but this trailer does suggest that we will be doing a lot of exploring and probably changing environments or maybe some sort of destruction through these different animals or creatures in the wild. I don't really know what the motivation is for any of this or what the use is for it yet, but the only other info that we really have about this game is from a blog post stating that the game is inspired by beauty of the natural world around us, where players take the role of an eternal as you explore and build bonds through the world around you. As of recording this video, Everwild is still slated to release in March of 2020. Personally, I think the most exciting part of the livestream was Obsidian's portion of the event. To get things started, they showed off a new Outer Worlds DLC, Peril on Gorgon. From what I've read, this takes place before the end of the main quest line, before you kind of make that point of no return, and the DLC is supposedly roughly 6 to 8 hours in length. It involves a murder mystery as well as new perks, new weapons to acquire. Peril on Gorgon will be released on September 9th. They then showed off their trailer for Grounded, which honestly was a pretty funny trailer, and I definitely recommend you check it out. It showed off some more gameplay, and it seemed like a pretty fun story-driven survival type game. The game will arrive on Game Pass and come to early access on Steam on July 28th. Obsidian then closed their portion of the event by showing off a trailer for their new game, Avowed. This is going to be their Xbox exclusive RPG set in the Pillars of Eternity universe, showing off a very similar style to that of Skyrim or Oblivion. We only really got like 2 seconds of some sort of gameplay to analyze, but we know there's swords and magic. We'll just have to wait and see what Obsidian has to show us in the future for this game, but personally, this game is very exciting for me because Obsidian is one of my favorite studios. I love RPGs, and that's what this team is really known for, and they do it well. It's very possible, in my opinion, that this game could become a system seller in the future once we start to see more about this game come out, whenever that might be. Double Fine showed off an awesome trailer for Psychonauts 2 with some psychedelic gameplay spliced in with a cool musical performance by Jack Black. I'm very excited for another awesome 3D platformer like this, but sadly, we still didn't have a release date for this game. There's plenty of gameplay to be seen for Psychonauts 2, so I'm feeling confident that this game will eventually come out, but sadly, it has no release date yet. There's a few cool timed exclusives, including Stalker 2, which is the sequel to the popular PC game. This game is estimated to be released sometime in 2021. You have The Medium, which is a very interesting looking single-player psychological horror type game where you play as a medium who lives in the real world and spirit world trying to uncover a mysterious murder of a child. This game is set to be released in December 2020. You also have Crossfire X. Crossfire is a massively popular Korean FPS, and Remedy appears to be helping with the single-player portion called Crossfire X. One thing that's interesting to mention with this game is that all of these games that I talked about are going to be available on Game Pass except for Crossfire X. Game Pass owners will be able to play the multiplayer mode, but the campaign appears to be sold separately when that comes out. It's honestly pretty disappointing, but I am excited to see what kind of story Remedy can come up with this type of game. No official release date has been given yet, but the game is slated for a 2020 release. To finish things off, Xbox had their one more thing moment by revealing a teaser trailer for Fable 4, confirming the many rumors that this game is officially in development. There was no gameplay and there wasn't much info given through the cinematic trailer. It was just more of a teaser trailer showing a logo, and we have no estimated release date set yet, but I wouldn't expect this game to come out at least until sometime around 2021 at the earliest. Overall, I thought the Xbox event was pretty solid. Like I said, the two things that I think they really needed to kind of overshadow PlayStation was to show some new games and new IPs, as well as show lots of gameplay. And while they did show a lot of games, they didn't show a whole lot of gameplay. And that doesn't necessarily make it a bad event, in my opinion. I just think that it means that competition between Xbox and PlayStation is going to be a lot more harder fought. And while they did show a lot of interesting games to get excited for, because they didn't show a lot of gameplay, I don't think they really held the edge over PlayStation. Personally, the event did enough to kind of make me lean towards buying an Xbox over a PS5 on launch day. Personally, for my tastes in games, I particularly like RPGs, and seeing what I saw today at the event really makes me lean towards getting an Xbox. That being said, Xbox has said that they're not done showing off games, and unless in the next event they show a lot of cool gameplay, I don't think that the public is going to be picking up an Xbox over a PlayStation 5. Well, that about does it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you as always for watching the video and checking out the channel. I would personally love to hear your opinions on this Xbox event. Did you think it was a solid event? Did you like what games were talked about and shown? Or did you think it was absolutely trash and it just only emboldened your decision to pick up a PS5? Or are you still on the fence because none of these systems have officially launched their price tag yet? Any and all opinions and reasonings I would love to hear in the comments section down below. As always, ladies and gentlemen, leave a like on this video if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and consider hitting that notification bell icon to keep notified on everything that we are doing. We release new videos every Monday and Friday, along with live streaming gameplay on Wednesdays, usually around 9 p.m. Central Time. We are on track to our 1,000 subscriber milestone, which allows us to apply for YouTube partnership status. We're getting very close to hitting that mark, so whether you like, comment, or subscribe, it's all greatly appreciated. Feel free to hit us up on any of our social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But yeah, that's enough rambling out of me. Thank you again so much for watching. My name is Blake, and for all things tech, games, movies, and other nerdy things in between, be sure to subscribe to Digital Cynics. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you next time.